The International Court of Justice
by Colby,
Sophie,
Diana, and Susan.
What is the International Court of Justice? The International Court of Justice is commonly referred to as ICJ or the World Court. The International Court of Justice is said to be the primary judicial organ of the United Nations. The International Court of Justice was established in 1945 by the Charter of the United Nations, yet the court's official inaugural sitting was in 1946. The location of the ICJ is based in the Peace Palace in The Hague, Netherlands. The International Court of Justice is primarily ran by the president of the organization, Hisashi Owada of China, and the vice president, Raymond Raniva of Madagascar. Hisashi Owada and Raymond Yanhira are a part of the ICJ's 15-member body of judges, each of whom serve a 9-year term. The 15-member body of judges that make up the International Court of Justice are elected by the United Nations General Assembly and Security Council. The jurisdiction of the president of the organization, the vice president, the various other members, and the organization in general is limited to the disputes that occur between states that are willing to agree to its authority on matters of the international law. The International Court of Justice's decisions are compulsory, yet the ICJ has no official enforcement power.
Where do its projects operate? The International Court of Justice has one main purpose, that is to resolve disputes submitted to it by states wanting to obtain sovereignty. Therefore, the projects operated by the ICJ are global. Currently, the ICJ is involved with the cases involving European states, 5 other between Latin American states, and 2 between African states. The diversity amongst these countries show us the universality of the ICJ. The ICJ deals with a large variety of issues. For example, on October 8, 2007, the court handled a case concerning the territorial and maritime dispute between Nicaragua and Honduras in the Caribbean Sea. The ICJ came to a conclusion after investigating the history behind the islands that the islands belonged to Honduras, for the Honduras nation had shown immigration, fishery activities, and building activities on the islands. Certain organizations are also authorized to request help of the court on legal questions. Organizations such as the International Labour Organization, the Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations, the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organizations, and many more. The ICJ is involved with many organizations, its projects operate everywhere in the world, and it helps resolve problems between many different nation states, and therefore plays a very important role in the well-being and security of humanity.
Why does it undertake these initiatives? Before the International Court of Justice was an actual organization, there was an organization called the Permanent Court of International Justice. However, the outbreak of the Second World War in 1939 had serious consequences for the PCIJ, for the PCIJ had already known a period of diminished activity. After its last public sitting on December 4, 1939, the Permanent Court of International Justice did not in fact deal with any judicial business and no further elections. It was clear that even under the stress of the war, some thought should be given to the future of the court, as well as to the creation of a new international political order. This is why the PCIJ was created, so this new political order could in fact reach the goals of and mandates the PCIJ cannot. The International Court of Justice gives advisory opinions to resolve conflicts involving nation states. Advisory opinions was a way by which UN agencies could search for the International Court of Justice's help in deciding problematical issues that might fall under their respective mandates. Although the International Court of Justice's advisory opinions are consultative, they are very influential and widely respected throughout the world.
does the International Court of Justice do? The job of the ICJ is to settle legal disagreements that are brought to it by nation states and to provide opinions and suggestions as to how to fix them. The official languages of the International Court of Justice are English and French. They act as a world court and deal with two different types of cases. One kind is a contentious case. When legal disputes occur between states and they submit their problems themselves, it is considered a contentious case. On the other hand, there are advisory proceedings. When the UN or another specialized agency thinks that someone needs help or when they need answers to legal questions, they bring it up with the ICJ.
After looking at a number of different criteria questions such as
What indications are there of long-term or sustainable results?
Does the organization have well-established and worthwhile goals?
What evidence supports that the organization is meeting these goals?
and do the members truly represent the organization as a whole?
We came to a conclusion that the International Court of Justice is in fact a successful organization that works towards resolving conflicts between nation states. So, what indications are there of long-term or sustainable results? In addition, we have found that this organization has successfully lasted over many years, and this is an indicator of their long-term and sustainable results. We find this to be true because many nation states have approached the ICJ wanting their advice on certain conflicts and issues they could not resolve on their own.
Does the organization have well-established and worthwhile goals? The main goal of the ICJ is to resolve disputes submitted to it by nation states wanting to obtain sovereignty. By doing so, the International Court of Justice follows through with the objectives to present suggested opinions and views on legal questions. The ICJ does have clearly established and worthwhile goals, for the International Court of Justice provides services, either exclusively or in a substantial preponderance, to persons in non-domestic areas.
Do the members truly represent the organization as a whole? The ICJ's members do the organization as a whole. Therefore, there should not be any changes in the procedures taken when electing the ICJ's members, because each member of our organization has been hand-selected by the United Nations. Each member was chosen for a reason, and these reasons are clearly presented in the ICJ's Act of Resolving Conflicts.
What evidence supports that the organization is meeting these goals? We have found a number of successful results that have been demonstrated by our organization, proving that the ICJ is meeting its goals. For example, the court has come to conclusions regarding the following issues: certain questions of mutual assistance in criminal matters, dispute regarding navigational and related rights, and frontier disputes.
In
Conclusion,
The
Assessment
of
our
organization
proves
the
International
court
of
justice
is
in
fact
in
organization
that
is
needed
in
our
world
today.
Our
recommendations.
As a group of Canadian grade 11 students, we have found that the International Court of Justice is in fact a successful organization that should be supported by all nations. The one thing we have found most impressive is how highly respected the ICJ's advice and opinions are taken. For the International Court of Justice does not have the power to enforce their decisions, it is up to the countries wanting their help to enforce them.
The International Court of Justice is a well-respected organization, and we predict that it will remain this way in the future. We believe that this organization will continue aiding countries in need due to the fact that the organization contains well-respected members hand-chosen by the United Nations. We predict that with its continuing success, the International Court of Justice will grow.
Even though there are arguments against the ICJ that have concrete bases, the facts still remain and support our ideologies towards this successful organization. The ICJ is and will continue to be a successful and well-respected organization known throughout the world.